Hi, so this is the video where I would read a reading to you called Hidden Cities Beneath Our Feet and explain to you what the reading is about and your task for today. So before I read the story to you, I just want to ask, what are hidden gems? So hidden gems are treasures. It can be gold, ceramics, or a whole civilization buried under the ground. So what does that mean? So let me show you guys by showing some pictures. So treasures can be gold coins. This was important especially before we had like paper money or paper bills. You can have jewelry or like things made of gold, like this gold cup over here. Archaeologists. So archaeologists are people that dig hidden gems or treasures underground. For them, the treasures look like this. They are called artifacts. Artifacts. Those are things that are important um, in a civilization way back then. Okay, so they may have like jugs, pots, this carved disc. You have maybe some wood sculptures of some goddesses, or maybe like, silverware, like plates, forks. Silverware would be forks, spoons, knives, and then you can add some glass plates or glasses. So it's important to them because it helps them know what was important for that civilization or society before. Okay, so let's start reading. So the title of the reading today is called Hidden Cities Beneath Our Feet. So, in big cities, people dig all the time. Construction workers dig to make foundations for new buildings. Utility companies dig to access broken water pipes or bad electrical wires. City governments dig to make the land more usable. Often while digging, people find items or things from the past, such as bottles or plates. Although these items or things can be interesting, they're usually not extraordinary. Okay, so let's stop there. So in the first paragraph, it tells you the reasons why people dig. Okay, so there are 4 reasons. Can you find 2 reasons why people dig? Okay, so if you said that people dig to make foundations for new buildings, you are correct. The other reason is they dig to access broken water pipes or bad electrical wires because they have to fix it since it's broken. The other reason is they dig to make the land more usable. So I'll give you an example of how you can make the land more usable. Maybe they will create a water dam. So basically when it rains, the dam would collect the water, and if it's flooding, especially the river, because remember when it rains, the water rises. So when it's flooding, they can stop the water from flooding. Okay, so that could be another use of land, is building a water dam. The last one is people dig to find important items in the past, such as the artifacts that I told you that archaeologists dig. Okay, so let's go to the second paragraph now. In 1978, electric company workers in Mexico City, Mexico, made an amazing discovery. They were digging in the middle of the city when they uncovered a monumental carved stone disc that was 500 years old. The object or thing weighed, or how heavy it was. It weighed more than 8 tons or 7.3 metric tons and showed the image of the striking Aztec moon goddess Coyolxauhqui. So let's stop there. Okay, what important event happened in Mexico City in 1978? Okay, so if you said they uncovered a monumental carved stone disc, you are correct. Remember, when archaeologists dig, it lets them know about things in the past. So this disc can help them find out more about the Aztec civilization. So that's why it was very exciting and important for them. So let's go read the third paragraph, which extends to the next page or goes to the next page. So let's start reading. As surprising as this discovery was, it was only the beginning. The disc turned out to be one small part of the ruins of the ancient capital of the Aztec Empire, Tenochtitlan. Tenochtitlan, I'm saying it again because it's in case you want to know how to say it. Historians knew that Tenochtitlan had been destroyed in 1521 when Spanish conquerors tore down buildings and began to build new structures on top of the ruins. But no one knew exactly where the ruins were or how much still existed. Despite years of searching the ancient city's location or where it was, it remained a mystery until those lucky electricians unearthed the first huge clue. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of the third paragraph. Okay, so what did they find in the ruins? If you said they found the ancient capital of the Aztec Empire, Tenochtitlan, you are correct. Okay, so that disc made them dig some more, and they found more things that made them realize, oh my gosh, we are, actually digging this part of like the Aztec Empire. Okay, so they are learning more about what happened to this lost empire that seemed to just vanish or disappear. Okay, so let's read the last paragraph, fourth paragraph. After the discovery of the carved disc, workers uncovered more remains of the city, including a large pyramid-shaped temple that was a ceremonial center of Tenochtitlan. Today, visitors to Mexico City can tour the original site and visit the Templo Mayor Museum. The museum has 8 halls featuring thousands of objects that have been excavated or dug up from beneath the modern city. This vast treasure includes shells, carved figures, skeletons, ceramics, mosaics, weapons, and statues. Okay, so my question today is, what would you see when you go inside the Templo Mayor Museum? So if you said that you can see treasures such as shells, carved figures, skeletons, ceramics, mosaics, weapons, and statues, you are correct. And these objects, as I mentioned before, are very important because, as I mentioned before, these are things that you call artifacts. Artifacts tell you how people in the past lived. Like, what did they use to cook? What did they use to I would say decorate themselves, like how do they groom themselves, how do they bathe, and things like that. Okay, so all of these artifacts like this tell us how people in the past live. Okay, so in this museum you can see all these things, and you can find out more about the lost Aztec civilization. Okay, so let's look at some of the questions that you guys have to answer. I think there are part 2. Okay, so the part 1 is basically just answering questions. Okay, so first is write the main idea of the first paragraph. So you have to go back to the first paragraph, which is this. So if you're listening to my reading, I explained what this is about. Okay, so you have to tell me the main idea of the first paragraph. Okay, and then here, what is the main idea of the whole story? What is it about? Okay, so we're talking about the whole story for this one, and this one is just the first paragraph. Okay, second question is cite text evidence to support the idea that the ruins of Tenochtitlan are a vast treasure. So you go back here. Okay, is it in paragraph 1? Is it in paragraph 2? Is it in paragraph 3, which is a little bit long because it extends or goes to the next page? Or is it paragraph 4, where you can find the detail or the idea that Tenochtitlan are a vast treasure? So you have to find evidence. Number 3, why were historians so surprised by the electrician's find? And then part 2 is you have to do research. So you'll research about an excavated city in your country. So if you're from El Salvador or Guatemala or Honduras, you find out about an excavated city. And then these are the questions that you have to answer for your research. When did the excavation start? Where in your country did the excavation happen? So maybe tell me the name of the city or the town. What was the name of the civilization? So, you know, different countries have different civilizations in the past. So if you can find the name of the civilization, you can include that. And then last is, what did people find in their excavation? So what things or items did they find during their excavation? Okay, so I would need all of this by 5 p.m. today. Remember, you have 2 things to do. Part 1 would be just answers to the questions. There are about 4. Even though it says 1, 2, 3, part 1 actually has 2 questions for you. And then part 2 is the research, and you have to answer 4 questions. Okay, so I will check in with you guys later to see if you have any questions. Until tomorrow, I will talk to you then. Bye.